Army generals.
Shout out to Hate Army.
Your name is Hate Army? Saying Hate Army shit.
Hate Army shout out.
Good vibes to the Hate Army.
Shout out for hate.
The other thing I would like to talk about is an update on Street Fighter 6, all right? And people are obviously interested. Am I doing better or worse? Am I getting better or worse at this game? What's going on with each character that I play? We have an update. For those who weren't here yesterday, maybe you weren't here yesterday because there was only one gameplay stream. I tried Mono. So yesterday I tried Mono. Now here's the thing, all right? Something weird happened yesterday that now people are trying to explain to me why it happened, and I'm kind of like, I'll be honest, I'm not too happy with how yesterday went, but it has nothing to do with the game mechanics or anything. Allow me to explain. So yesterday, I tried Mono, all right? And we went into, as usual, guide mode, learned some basics of Mono, the fundamentals, went into combo trials, learned a few basic combos, you know, basic things, setups, all right? And then I said, okay, let's do it. Let's take Mono online and let's play it. I go online, and it says, here's your placement matches. Now, it's done this with every character I played so far. Okay, great. Match number 1. A high-ranked Dalsim, who literally zones me. I don't even know really how to fight Dalsim as it is. But now, this Dalsim is completely zoning me. I can't get in on them. How am I supposed to learn basic fundamentals of a new character I never used before if I can't even get near the enemy? So the first 2 matches are a complete waste of time. There's no way I'm going to learn this, right? Next match, I think, was a DJ. This DJ literally knew exactly how to fight Mono. Every time I tried to do anything, stuffed, counter hit, stuffed. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of weird. These are supposed to be my placement matches, meaning essentially you should be playing a variety of fighters, not people who are, you know, obviously high-level people. These are their main characters. They know exactly what they're doing. They're completely dominating this character's moveset, who I don't even know how to use yet. So this is kind of weird. Then, around the middle of my placement matches, I think I played someone who maybe didn't know how to use or fight Mono that well, and I ended up getting like a string of command throws, and with Mono, the way it works is when you get a command throw, every time she lands one, they become more powerful. So it's like, I land one, it does a good amount of damage. I land the second one, it does a giant amount of damage. I do the third one, it takes like a fourth of, or a third of their energy bar. It's like insane. So I think the third person I beat, I like dominated. And then the fourth person was close, but I think it was like win, lose, win. So overall, at the end of my 10 placement matches, which was a mix, 2 of them was just like a spanking. I didn't even know what was going on. I got my ass handed to me. And the others were decent, but I'm learning the character, but I got a few wins. They say, oh, you're platinum 5-star rank. And I'm like, I don't know how to use the character. I got bodied at least half of my placement matches, destroyed. How the hell am I platinum 5-star rank? So what ended up happening was, I'm not kidding, like the entire first hour to hour and a half of playing Mono was this. I go for a setup, they neutral jump right out of it, destroy me. I go to grab, jab, 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 beating everything. And what I ended up finding out was a couple things. First of all, there's a few factors here, all right? Here's factor number 1. The game's been out a week and a half. And this is the difference in the modern era versus back in the day when fighting games used to be released as new releases, okay? Back in the day, you didn't have people who were so obsessed with these games that they microanalyzed and utterly dissected them within a couple days of them being out, right? When a new fighting game used to release, it took a process of weeks to months for people to learn advanced strategies, combos, and the like. But what's happened now with modern fighting games is because they've become profitable, okay? Allow me to repeat what I just said. It's not because of hype. It's not because of popularity. It's because of profit. People now feel that if they can completely blow up a fighting game and just here's everything about it within a week, they're going to get views. They're going to get popularity. They're going to be able to go play in tournaments and destroy tournaments and win the $1 million prize pool. It's all about the money. This is not how it used to be. It used to be a very fun, casualized environment where you could take your time slowly learning a game against everyone else. And no one was of this insane mindset that I must master this game within a few days. People had lives. They weren't just sitting around playing Street Fighter constantly, okay? So there weren't 5 zillion combo videos all over social media. There wasn't every single person streaming 24 hours for 4 days straight. You know what I mean? There weren't day 1 tournaments. It's nuts. It's just crazy how things have changed from back in the day how things were with fighting games.
Flashback.
Darth Tonius did a 59-bit cheers. Did you ever play in Super Turbo tournaments? You're pretty good. Yes, I did. Essentially, I played in Street Fighter tournaments starting in the late 90s for games like Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2. And I really loved those games. And even though I was a top player in Marvel vs. Capcom 1, I really jumped into the competitive scene at the very end of the game's life cycle. So really, it was all about Marvel 2. I was good at the game, but I was never a top competitor. I would go to like regional qualifiers, like East Coast Championships and the like, and I would do all right. I would usually make like top 20, but I would never really get past that. And it's a shame because I think Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is one of my favorite games of all time, but I just never got to the level where I could be a top performer. But I was a huge shit talker, that's for sure. Then, during that time period of the early 2000s, I realized I think I liked more straight-up fighting games than the more cartoony, action-based, tag in and out, wave dashing kind of games that the Marvel series was. So I started playing games like Capcom vs. SNK 2, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, and Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Incidentally, I think Super Turbo was the one I liked the most, and that's the oldest game in the series. That's the original game that put Street Fighter on the map and made it the staple for competitive gaming. Fighting gaming, I should say. So, over the years, I played the shit out of it at every tournament I could get my hands on it, on Arcade Cabinet. I played the various console versions of it. And then, out of the blue, at EVO 2005, I don't even remember anymore. I think it was EVO 2005. I got 4th place in the entire tournament. And the top 3 placers were Japanese. I beat all the American players that year at the game to basically become the top-ranked American that year. Of course, there was tons of controversy because that was the first year that EVO adopted console versions of games over arcade. Everyone complained that the console version of Super Turbo wasn't valid. It wasn't similar to the arcade. So then the next year in 2006, I proceeded to win EVO East, which was the East Coast qualifier for EVO, in the latest version of Super Turbo, which was called Anniversary Edition. Then I traveled the country, going to every qualifier and winning all the qualifiers and or placing top 3 in every qualifier that I touched. So I pretty much proved that it wasn't a fluke in 2005, that I could hang at a top level no matter what version of the game I play, okay? Then, in 2007, I did it again. There was another new version of Super Turbo. This one was called Capcom Classics Collection 2 on the PlayStation 2. And this version, again, I won EVO East, and I was placing or winning at all the qualifiers all over the country. But then in 2007, I got burnt out. It basically said, man, I've been doing this basically as my hobby and my major focus of sinking money and time into it for like 8 or 9 years. And honestly, I didn't really feel like I was getting much out of it. At the same time, I was diagnosed with a major back injury, so I wasn't really able to travel as much anymore because my back was screwed up. And I said, I need to kind of reevaluate what I want to do as my life and my free time because I don't think that the Street Fighter thing's working out. So instead of traveling constantly for Street Fighter, I decided to start getting re-immersed into console games, and I did that for about 1.5 years, and then I started making YouTube videos in 2008, and the rest is history. So there's a brief summary of my history as a competitive fighting game player. A lot of people in the modern era don't like me for various reasons and literally try to hide the fact that I was good at fighting games. They'll say that every tournament I ever won, even though there's, like, not even kidding, probably like 30 or 40 tournaments that I placed well in or won in Super Turbo, they'll say, oh, none of those are valid. Oh, okay. 40 times, none of them are valid. I can say, 1 or 2 times is a fluke. 5 to 10 times, all right, maybe you got lucky. 40 times, those are invalid. Okay, whatever you say. All right, let's continue on. There was a Street Fighter Anniversary Collection that came out in 2006, and that's what EVO decided was going to be the big game at EVO for Super Turbo. I didn't like that collection. I thought it was unbalanced. I thought that it had a lot of issues. And for competitive play, it wasn't great. But that's what EVO chose, so I played the shit out of that game, and I won EVO East in it because, that was what they wanted. And that's kind of how it's always been. EVO dictates what's the tournament-worthy game or what the tournament version game is going to be, and you have to just play the shit out of it, even if you don't like it. So I'd have to hear what is the tournament version of the game that everyone's playing and just try to learn it, all right? It would be a lot of effort. It would be a lot of work. Could I do it? Yeah, if I actually hardcore dedicated myself to practicing the shit out of a game, I know I could play at a competitive level. But what's the sacrifice, okay, that I need to make? I would have to basically be playing these games 2, 3, 4 times a week, which means half my streams are going to be that fighting game. How many people are going to want to tune in to the same fighting games that many times a week, right? I don't have any time outside of my streams now to practice fighting games. There's no offline time for me to be doing this. So I don't know when I would do it. I don't know how it would happen, you know? It would be a ginormous sacrifice, and a large portion of my audience might get turned off and say, I don't want to see Phil play this constantly, and now I lose a big part of my audience, and I can't do that. This is my living. This is my livelihood, is doing variety streams, having people come by and enjoying the streams. I can't change my content up overnight in order to say I want to become viably competitive at Super Turbo again. Okay? I realistically don't see myself ever becoming competitive again in another fighting game unless, let's say, Street Fighter 6 has good online play, is a game that I enjoy playing. It's not one of these fucking games that's a pattern game for scrubs and is easy to learn. You know, I want a game that has a competitive edge. You do a lot of work to learn the executions and the strategies of the game, and it's unique and fun, and it's not just about hype and bullshit, but the game actually is competitively viable. Then I would maybe try to dedicate some time into it again. I was planning on doing this with Street Fighter 5, and Street Fighter 5 ended up being such a fucking flop. The first 2 months were a train wreck disaster where almost no one could consistently play the game or have any fun with it. By the time the game worked, we realized the game was utterly broken with massive frame delays. The game sucks. And it never got better. As much as they tried to pretend that they fixed it, they never did. It just added more and more bullshit to the game, and it's just not a fun competitive game. I'm sorry. That's my opinion. So Street Fighter 6 is different. Maybe one day, yes, I would practice Super Turbo, enter a tournament, and see how I do again. Or maybe Street Fighter 6 comes out. Oh my God, it blows me away. I'll play it at a level where I'll play it maybe a bunch of weeks. You know, when Street Fighter 4 came out, I played the shit out of that game. Like every night I was playing Street Fighter 4 for weeks and weeks. And then even when Street Fighter 4 was getting older, I still played it like 2-3 times a week to try different characters. Remember Dan Madness, Ryu Madness, the Madness series that I used to do. I would love to do that again if there was a game that I feel gave me enough interest that I would want to do it. Right now, fighting games aren't doing it for me. Okay?
End of flashback.
You know, with the level of stuff we're seeing in Street Fighter 6 only a week and a half in, it would have taken 6 months for them to figure that out back in the day at minimum. But this is the difference between now and then. Now, everything has become a competition. Everything has become, you must know everything right away. We must destroy these games right away, rip them apart. So within a week, everyone knows everything. Okay? So it's hilarious to me. Oh, I'm just going to pick a character for the first time. Okay, here we go. So I get a couple hits in, I could do like maybe 20-30% damage tops. If I make one mistake now against anyone in ranked, they punish my mistake for like a 60% damage combo. I want to repeat that. More than half of your life bar gone because you got hit once with every person you fight in ranked. This is not, oh, you know, a couple people. Everyone knows these extended dash cancel combos into super, into everything. It's like, what the fuck? Like, did you seriously just sit here for a week, sit labbing till you mastered this combo, and now you do it every match? It's ridiculous. And some of the things I've seen already, I mean, it's like, this is master level stuff, and they're doing it within a week. Now, listen. Some people are going to say, well, then you're just not good enough. You're right. I have not been a competitive fighting game player for a very long time. This is very true. And being out of the loop, I don't have that ability to pick up on everything as fast as probably most other people. It's going to be slow going for me trying to get better at Street Fighter. I mean, look, I'm still losing to basic drive impact implementations, right? I still haven't gotten the ability to just respond to drive impact on the fly. I'm trying, and I just get hit by it all the time, and it's annoying. It really is. When I'm trying to learn a new game and I'm getting beaten by a basic tactic. So, yeah, I have not sat with one character in the lab, practice combos till I got it down to a 60% punish combo that I can now execute every single round. Why? Because I'm trying to put out entertaining content for you guys, and that does not constitute mastering one character and being tournament ready. If that were the case, I literally would have picked one of these fast characters like Ken, Cammy, Juri, Guile, Chun-Li, DJ, Jamie. I would have used one of that kind of character. I would have just played that one character all week. That's it. You wouldn't have seen any of the variety. I've picked 8 characters so far. You would have seen one character. That's it. And everyone would have complained, oh, that's boring. And I would have said, fuck you. This is how you win in tournaments, right? And I would have just sat there learning that character, practicing constantly, get good mentality, and I would have had master level gameplay by now, dominating people online. And it would have been incredibly fucking boring because I'm making content to entertain my audience who likes a variety of content. I'm not making content to become a tournament level player. You understand? I easily could have just sat there and played with the same character over and over, but I'm not doing that. In fact, playing with a new character now, a week and a half in, is a setup for disaster. You know you're going to get bodied because most people playing ranked are people playing their main character and they know everything about the matchups and the character, right? I don't. I'm literally starting from square one every time I pick somebody new. So, that's number one. I think me using a new character at this point, we're going to see me getting spanked a lot. Until I learned the basics of said characters, I don't know how I'm going to hang when I don't know even setups to get to a point where there's a neutral game that there's options for my character while everyone else knows how to beat everything. Like literally with Minot, here's how bad it was. Mid-range. So what are her options? Command throw, mix up into command throw, hit string that's safe. If it hits, hit confirm into a combo, or neutral jump. Okay? Literally no matter what I did, I got stuffed. Go for a throw, jab, jab, jab. Okay? Or neutral jump over my throw, destroy me. Go for a setup. Oh, well, we know that that's not safe. Jab, jab through everything I do, combo. It was pretty bad. Like, there was even, like, things that the guide had said about Minot. They were like, oh, do this, do medium punch, medium kick. It sucks them in. It leaves them in neutral. Now you have options. Completely false. After you do that, they have options, but you don't. They can actually mash jab and beat anything you do before you can do it after that target combo ends. So, you know, these people have already learned the ins and outs of characters that I'm just starting to use, and they know how to dominate them. So it was kind of like that. I almost feel like the whole first 2 hours that I was playing Minot were almost a waste of time because I didn't know anything. By the end of the 2 hours, I had played a couple of Minots who were doing some mix-ups. Like they have this hit string that goes into an overhead. You could dash cancel out of it, and now you have like an option with a combo or a throw. So I was starting to implement things by the end of the gameplay. All right, but totally admitting here, I got destroyed. Like, to give you some perspective, here's the chart of me only using characters for the first time. This is not representative of when I went back and I played again with characters such as Blanca, Lily, or Dalsim. This is just first time gameplay with each character, okay? I got utterly demolished using Minot yesterday. Like, completely destroyed. Look at that. Only 61 wins, 102 losses. That is an awful record. No one's going to dispute that. In fact, again, for these first time matchups, I've actually now lost more than I've won, and it's mostly because of yesterday. Okay? But I'm not going to let this beat me. I'm not going to let this discourage me from continuing on and trying to get better and learning these characters. Truth is, even if there's a character that I suck with, at least having played with them once, at least I will understand the basics of said character. So even if I face them, I know what their options are. You need to at least understand each character to face them properly. So that'll be like, I'm playing Street Fighter 2, but I decided never to use half the cast. Well, how would you ever face them? How would you know exactly what their moves are and what they're capable of? You see, you need to. So even if out of the 8 characters I picked, I only end up playing with 2 in the future, that's still good because I learned about these characters when I did. It's not like this is a waste of time in any means, all right? But I will be honest, I was very disheartened yesterday trying to play with Minot and realizing it seems like ranked is not going to be very viable anymore just because everyone playing ranked is in that try-hard mentality of, this is my main. I've mastered every combo with this character. 60% punish on one hit. I know all your basics. I fucked them up by jabbing and counter-hitting. It's like, dude, I'm just trying to go punch, punch, set up, throw. And you're like, whoa, 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 60%, 70% combo, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, fuck, man. It ain't that serious, but for some people, I guess it really is. Again, this didn't used to be like this back in the day. Even Street Fighter 4, yeah, there were people who played the shit out of Street Fighter 4, but they didn't know this stuff so quick. They just didn't. They didn't learn that fast. It was like you had months to fuck around with Street Fighter 4 and have fun and try to learn fundamentals and basics with each character before people were doing master level shit. This is just, it's out of control these days how much people have just ripped apart these games in a scientific way, a medical way, in order to try to get so good at them so fast. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, this is my initial runs. However, in the overall scheme of things, and this, I refer now to a Google Doc that Game Checker is now using. Here's how it really went. So with Minot, They started me out platinum 4-star ranking, which I never should have been. I should have probably been low platinum or even gold. There's no way I should have been in a high-level platinum ranking. I had 23 match wins, 45 match losses. So I lost pretty much twice as much as I won yesterday. Only a 34% win ratio. And by the time I was done, I was in platinum 3-star. Okay. Overall, I'm still good. 317 wins, 276 losses. So remember, I said this is the climb to 1,000 wins. This is going to be a big climb, and I'm curious, at what point will I actually hit my 1,000th win in Street Fighter 6? Will be interesting to see. So that's where I am. I'm at 53% win-loss ratio. I'm still positive. All right, so that's a good thing. Obviously, that I'm still in the black or in the green. I'm not in the red when it comes to overall win-loss ratio. But obviously, yeah, yesterday was a big setback, right? Like, admittedly, I wanted to do better, and I feel like most of the time when I was playing yesterday, I didn't really learn anything. I would say by the end of the stream, I did learn some good stuff with Minot that I will implement moving forward. But I definitely feel like, sadly, because of the way that now everyone is playing, it's going to be hard to ever do rank. So someone made a good suggestion yesterday. They said, here's what you should do. When you pick a new character now, still do their guides, still do their combo trials, but before you go to ranked, go to casual. Play casual, play matches for like an hour. At least get your bearings, right? Those matches, you're going to get a variety of players. Yes, you're going to get high-level tryhards. At the same time, you're going to get casualized players too. It's going to allow you to, at the very least, try out some things before you're in a ranked environment where everyone is using their main characters and just dominating, right? So I kind of think that makes sense. I think that what I should do moving forward is do that. Do casual first for a little bit, then jump into the ranked. It's funny because with all fighting games, I usually only play ranked. I almost never play casual play. This is the first fighting game where I've run into this problem only a week in, where it's impossible to play ranked at this point because of the way they've set up this game. So, it is what it is. I'm not saying that the entire, premiere session I've been using casual play or whatever, but I absolutely need to use these characters at least a little bit and learn their basics before I'm getting bodied by 60% punish combos because, oops, I mistimed one kick not knowing what I was doing, right? So we'll see. Now, here's the thing. There's a new character I'm using tomorrow. That's right. Tomorrow's main gameplay stream, I'll be using Marisa for the very first time. So I'm excited because a lot of people have said that Marisa seems like maybe she may be my style. A lot of people think that. Some people have been using Marisa all along, saying that she's a great character. It seems like she has super armor moves that can blow through Drive Impact, which would be huge for me because I have a lot of problems with Drive Impact. I need a character who can basically get around it. Yeah, let's see. I'm very curious how it's going to go tomorrow with this character, all right? So that's tomorrow's main gameplay stream will be Marisa. And then what I'm going to do on Wednesday on my daytime stream, I'm going to do a multiplayer stream that's going to be Zangief, Minot, and Marisa, 1 hour each. He said, the exact same thing has happened to me with my Minot. The same thing happened to me that happened to you with Minot. I tried Lily out. I wanted her to be my secondary main. After my ranked placement matches, they put me in goddamn platinum 5-star. After I got placed, I absolutely got spanked. There was no room to get used to the character. Now I can't take Lily on ranked at all unless I D-rank and up. I'm not even past gold yet with Cammy, who's my actual main, and I do very well with her. The ranking and matching system is weird. They should let you reset your rank level if you want. Someone, I think, said you can. Is that not what someone just said? That there's a way to, I think Game Checker said you can manually downgrade yourself if you want? Because I agree with you. The thing is, if you're trying to learn a character, right? The last thing you want to do, like, think of it this way. I'm trying to learn how to play basketball. I don't go to the NBA to play. I go to the minor leagues first. I learn my game. I excel at my game. I get better. Then I take on other people, right? That's it. There's a level of progression when it comes to competition. You see what I'm saying? You absolutely cannot go from, I don't know what I'm doing to I'm a master. It doesn't work that way. So the game should treat it like that. I don't know why the game is like, oh, here's placement matches. If you luck out and you win a few, you're 5-star platinum or even diamond. In the case of Honda, I'm diamond. I'm diamond? I don't even know how to play with the character, and I'm diamond rank. It doesn't make any sense at all. Shell Yuka says, I picked intermediate at first. I placed silver with Marisa. I worked my way up to platinum 3 with her within a week. The ranking system is odd. So it must be that initial selection, whether you're saying low, intermediate, advanced, it just tosses you into a different realm of ranking. That doesn't even make sense to me, right? If anything, here's the truth of the matter. This is what it shows. On any given day, anyone can beat anyone in a competitive fighting game. It doesn't matter if you're the lowest of the low or a high level, as long as you just play solid. Like, how am I beating people who are way higher ranked, like platinum players, to get into platinum or even diamond rank with a character I never used before? Just fundamentals can beat people. So, you know what I'm saying? How should that be how you determine how you're going to be playing continuously ranked? It doesn't make sense that, and that one silly menu selection, not even knowing what it is. Oh, I guess I'm advanced. Okay, so now you're going to be overplaced forever. But amazing. Okay. The fuck is this? Alright, I'm going to try online, if it works. No. That is a bad system, in my opinion. Big Papa Phil says, if you had chosen intermediate, you get placed in the platinum diamond. If you win your placement matches, if you lose, you go to bronze silver. What if I did half and half? Right? You see? And the other thing is, you got to understand something here. I'm playing variety. I've only done one session with certain characters. Only one. The only ones that I've played more than one with are Dalsim, Lily, and Blanca. The vast majority of people who are playing Street Fighter 6 have focused on only a couple characters and played the shit out of them. Right? So that's just very different. You know what I mean? Like, it's different than what I'm doing. I'm trying to present to you the variety of the game, so at least when I play it, I know the knowledge of each character, and at least you've seen a little bit of each character in action. Then I can focus in and say, okay, now that I've played all the characters, I know that these are the ones that I like the most, and these are the ones that I want to continue to play with, right? But we're not even close. I've only played with, 8 characters out of the 18? You know, we're getting there slowly, but it's going to be a slow climb of playing with all these characters.
Typically helps me more than anything.